You know what's funny? We spend so much time talking about which stock to buy, which crypto is going to explode, which real estate market is hot, but that's not what makes people rich. I mean, think about it. If investing was the secret, wouldn't more investors be millionaires? Wouldn't every person with a Robinhood account be loaded? The truth is, there's one habit that almost every self-made millionaire has, and it has nothing to do with picking stocks, nothing to do with timing the market, nothing to do with being some genius investor. It's way simpler than that, and honestly, it's kinda boring. But boring is what works. Boring is what builds wealth. Let me tell you what it is. Chapter 1. Pay yourself first. Here's the habit. Pay yourself first. Sounds simple, right? But almost nobody does it. Most people get their paycheck. They pay rent, they pay utilities, they pay for groceries. They pay for Netflix, they pay for everything else. And then, if there's anything left, they save it. That's backward. That's the opposite of what rich people do. Self-made millionaires do the exact opposite. They get their paycheck, and the first thing they do is take money for themselves. Not for spending, for saving, for building wealth, for their future. Before rent, before groceries, before anything, they treat their savings like a bill that has to be paid, and they pay it first. One study found that 88% of millionaires set specific financial goals and worked on them daily. They didn't just hope to save, they made it a priority, a non-negotiable, something that happened before anything else. You want to know why most people never get rich? Because they pay everyone else first. They pay the landlord, they pay the credit card company, they pay the grocery store, and then they pay themselves, whatever is left, which is usually nothing. Flip that around. Pay yourself first. Every single paycheck. Before anything else. Chapter 2. Most people have it backward. Let me ask you something. When you get paid, what's the first thing you do? Be honest. Do you immediately pay bills? Do you go out to eat? Do you buy something you've been wanting? Most people do, and that's exactly why they stay broke. I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying it because it's true. Self-made millionaires don't do that. They have a system. They automatically transfer money to savings the moment their paycheck hits. They don't even see the money. It's gone before they can spend it. This is called reverse budgeting. You build your budget around your savings goals, not around your spending. You figure out how much you need to save, and then you spend whatever is left, not the other way around. According to financial experts, you should be setting aside 20 to 30% of your income. 20 to 30%. That's not a typo. Most people save maybe 5%. If they save anything at all. The math is simple. If you save 20% of your income every month, you will eventually become a millionaire. It might take a while, but it will happen. If you save nothing, you will never become a millionaire, no matter how much you make. I don't care if you earn $200,000 a year. If you spend $200,000 a year, you're broke. The habit isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Chapter 3. The math that actually works. Okay, let me show you why this works. It's not magic, it's math. Let's say you make $60,000 a year. That's about $5,000 a month. If you pay yourself first and save 20%, that's $1,000 a month, every month, without fail. Over 10 years, that's $120,000 in savings. But here's where it gets interesting. If you invest that money and get a 7% return, which is about the average stock market return, that $120,000 becomes about $173,000. Over 30 years, it becomes over $1.2 million. That's not a guess. That's math. That's compound interest working for you instead of against you. And you didn't need to pick a single winning stock. You didn't need to time the market. You didn't need to be lucky. You just needed to be consistent. You just needed to pay yourself first, every single month, for decades. That's the boring secret. That's the habit that self-made millionaires share. They don't try to get rich quick. They get rich slowly. They get rich boringly. They get rich by being consistent when everyone else is being impulsive. The people who make fun of this habit, they're the ones who will be working at 70 years old. The people who follow it? They're the ones who retire early. It's that simple. Chapter 4. Why most people just can't do it. If it's so simple, why doesn't everyone do it? Because it's hard. It's really hard. It requires discipline. It requires saying no to things you want right now. It requires delaying gratification. And most people can't do that. Most people want the new car, the new phone, the vacation, the fancy dinner. They want it now. And they're willing to sacrifice their future to get it. Self-made millionaires think differently. They view money as a tool for creating freedom and opportunities. They don't see money as something to spend. They see it as something to grow. They understand that every dollar they spend today is a dollar that could have grown into $10 tomorrow. They understand that the $5 coffee every day is $1,800 a year, invested over 20 years at 7%. That's over $75,000. A $75,000 coffee habit. That's what they see. Most people see a $5 coffee. That's the difference. That's the mindset shift. Self-made millionaires also surround themselves with people who have the life they want. They learn from people who are already successful. They don't hang out with people who complain about being broke. They don't hang out with people who make fun of saving. They hang out with people who understand the game. And the game is simple. Pay yourself first. Every time. No exceptions. That's the habit. Chapter 5. The Hidden Wealth Killer. Here's something they don't tell you on TV. Self-made millionaires don't just pay themselves first. They also live below their means. Way below. They don't upgrade their lifestyle every time they get a raise. They don't buy a bigger house when they make more money. They don't buy a fancier car. They keep living the same way and save the difference. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's the number one reason people stay broke even when they make good money. You get a raise, you get excited. You buy a nicer car, you eat out more, you take better vacations, and suddenly you're making more money, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck. Self-made millionaires don't do that. They get a raise and they save the extra money. They don't even see it. They just increase their savings rate. One study found that millionaires tend to avoid flashy clothes, drive used cars, and spend money intentionally. They don't waste money on things that don't add long-term value. They know that every dollar spent on status is a dollar that isn't growing. And they'd rather have the growth than the status. Because status is temporary. Wealth is forever. You can look rich or you can be rich, but you usually can't do both. Self-made millionaires choose to be rich. Chapter 6. What the math actually proves. Alright, let me be straight with you. This habit sounds boring. I get it. Nobody wants to hear that the secret to wealth is just saving money every month. It's not exciting. It doesn't make for a good TikTok. It doesn't get clicks. But you know what? It works. It works better than any stock-picking strategy. It works better than any crypto gamble. It works better than any get-rich-quick scheme, because it's based on math. Not luck, not timing, not insider information, just math. And math doesn't lie. I'm not saying you should never enjoy your money. You should. Life is short, but you should enjoy it after you've paid yourself first, after you've secured your future, after you've built your foundation. The people who become millionaires aren't the ones who got lucky. They're the ones who were disciplined. They're the ones who paid themselves first when it was hard, when their friends were spending, when society was telling them to consume. They said no, and now they're saying yes to early retirement. Yes to financial freedom. Yes to never worrying about money again. That's the trade-off. A little pain now for a lot of freedom later, or a lot of pleasure now for a lot of pain later. You choose. But don't say nobody told you. The habit is right there. Pay yourself first. Every single paycheck. No exceptions. That's how millionaires are made. Not by chasing stock hype or crypto gambles.